I'm sure when I say man-made satellite, you might have an idea of what that means. A machine floating around in space doing something. But what do these satellites actually do, and how do they help us understand our global environment? Satellites are really good at three main things. They help us communicate over super long distances, they help us know where in the world we are, and they take pictures. The ability of satellites to take pictures tends to be what we're thinking about when we think about satellites and the environment. Satellites work basically like our normal everyday cameras do. They have a sensor that records light as pixels of data and an internal computer that translates that data into something that our eyes can see and understand. But our normal cameras only take pictures in three wavelengths of light that are on the visible spectrum: red, green, and blue. Satellites are super cool because they can take pictures outside of just this tiny little visible range, which is what our eyes and our cameras can see. Different satellite sensors can take pictures in ultraviolet, infrared, and even microwaves. This is really important because there are lots of things that show up much better outside of the visible range of what people can see. Let's take plants as a really good example. Plants show up green to our eyes because they reflect green light, but they reflect near-infrared light, which is just outside of what our eyes can see, even better. A satellite can take a picture of this near-infrared light, and we can use a computer to assign the data a color that we can see, usually red, to help us really easily visualize where plant life is. Here's an example of one of these pictures that I made using Google Earth Engine and data from a satellite sensor called Sentinel-2. The most awesome part about satellites is that they are recording all of this data all over the world, which means that we get to see trends on a global scale. Plus, we have satellite data that goes back more than 40 years, meaning that we can also see how the environment has changed over time. Here's two images of the Amazon River taken near Iquitos, Peru. The first one was taken in 1984, and the second one was taken in 2020. The river has changed a lot, and satellites allow us to see it from a space eye view. This super long data set allows us to understand why things have happened, why they're happening right now, and lets us predict what might happen in the future. So, next time you look up at the sky, know that something wonderful is looking back.